So Starbuck News, again, Starbuck News, I think they're bought off by the Mohammeds, put a story out which says to help the Mohammeds again because their connection with Venezuela is a very important one. They're trying to cut that connection or any discussion of it in the public domain because apart from the charges that are the indictment around these, a few matters that have already been filed, I believe that when they go up to the United States of America, there'd be several on the indictment relating to connection with Venezuela, connection with Colombia, connection with Middle East. And the Jamaican lawyers point this out, or pointed this out too. So they need somebody to help them cut this connection. As I said before, they bought off many elements of the local media. So you'd recall when Minister Todd pointed out that he spoke with the ambassador, and the ambassador confirmed, he said the Mohammeds went into the embassy. The ambassador confirmed that. Azruddin Mohamed quickly put out a statement, he did not go. But the minister said the Mohammeds, because in the plural sense. So we pointed out, I said, we have evidence that Nazar Mohamed visited the embassy. Now, Nazar Mohamed is the father of Azruddin Mohamed. He is also sanctioned, OFAC sanctioned. He's a subject of the extradition order. They're in the same family. If I were to, I know I'm high profile. I'm running for the presidency. And I want to conduct business somewhere. Would I go myself? If I'm going to negotiate something or receiving some information from somewhere, I can send any member of my family. They'll come back home and tell me what's going on. But when we put this out, their campaign refused to answer it. Did Nazar Mohamed go to the embassy? Nothing. Silence. Silence. Total silence. They run off in, victimization again. We're being victimized. The PPP is lying and all of that. The video surfaced of him entering the embassy. Even his people said, the video is doctored. So Starbuck News comes along and tries to help him now to cut the link because obviously the United States now watching people who are connected to Venezuela. They need somebody to help cut that link. So Starbuck came and issued a statement. The Venezuelan ambassador said, no, the Mohammeds did not go. Nazar nor Azruddin Mohamed never visited the embassy. So obviously they think that that will go to the United States and then they would say the PPP was lying. They did not count on Minister Todd responding and releasing the correspondence that the Venezuelan ambassador had sent to him. They didn't count on that. So Starbuck News, getting caught with its pants down and trying to help the Mohammeds cut that link, then issued another story. Venezuelan ambassador did not refer to Nazar Mohamed in Starbuck News interview. So Starbuck News erroneously reported that the ambassador had said that neither of the Mohammeds had visited. This is not so, as he had only spoken about Azruddin Mohamed. Starbuck News regrets the error and apologizes to the ambassador for any inconvenience caused. Imagine Starbuck News apologizing and all of that. This is really the vilest things about us. Never apologize, but they're apologizing now. So, when the matter came out, so the next story should have been Nazar Mohammed did visit. Did you call back and now the ambassador and say, since we misinterpreted what you said and we erroneously reflected it, Starbuck News would like to do a follow-up. Did Nazar Mohammed visit the embassy? And if so, why? That story never came and will never come. That's how journalism works. So they visited. This is serious business now. The father of the candidate, an OFAC sanctioned person, a person who is the subject of extradition, visited your embassy. Now, can you confirm? And what did he want? That's a great story. That's a story that will never be written by the Starbuck News. Because their objective was not to elucidate or bring information. It was to help the Mohammeds cover this surreptitious visit to the embassy. And it was surreptitious. So let me tell you why it's surreptitious. Because the ambassador released to the minister a document purporting to invite Nazar Mohammed to Venezuela to a youth conference. That's the father to a youth conference to be held on the 25th of July 2025. 25th of July 2025, he received a letter to go to the youth conference. He visited the embassy in August after this youth conference had been held. This is the correspondence. Here it is. That was given to the minister. This was his invitation letter to go on the 25th of July for the conference, youth conference, and he went in there August. Couldn't have been for this youth conference. It had to be for something else. So, given the sensitivity of the border issue, given that there are many claims that the Mohammeds were moving gold for Venezuelan generals in contravention of the United States sanction, given that Trotman confirmed that they were on this list since that time. This happened sometime in the past when there were sanctions. There must be heightened suspicion about linkages. That's one. Two, I made it clear that US Congress people get briefings. And when these two Congress persons made these statements, we were told that the PPP tell them what to do. Not that they may have information that's not yet available to us, but available to US intelligence agencies. So, one, Carlos Jimenez said, in the US Congress, we are alarmed by the regime in Venezuela's attempt to undermine Guyana through its pro-Maduro puppet candidate, Azruddin Mohamed, who is sanctioned by OFAC. Maria Salazar We remain deeply concerned about efforts to undermine democracy in Guyana. As a strategic ally of the United States, Guyana deserves leaders who respect democratic values. Linking the two. So first we have connection, maybe a potential connection through gold smuggling. Secondly, here we have all of these statements. Third is when I see a lot of speculation about the terrorist incident in Guyana in the public domain. And what struck me was the lukewarm response from Team Mohammed to the efforts that every other media house made and every other political party in trying to get these people. When the police statements came out to replicate them, etc., they didn't put it on their page. So what I found very strange, and personally, is that the extradition request was sent, I think, to the State Department and Justice Department on the 26th of October. On the 26th of October, the same day, we had this terrorist incident in Guyana. On the 27th of October, they were signed. On the 30th of October, we had the extradition request. Now, before that, we had Odessa Primus on the 28th of October saying a big distraction coming within the next 24 hours. So clearly they knew, obviously from their contacts in Washington, lawyers and stuff, that the request was coming. It's a funny thing that on the same day that the request went in and it was signed the following day, and Primus posted on October 28th about the next 24 hours it will be coming, something big, that we had this incident. We can't discount it. That's why in the requests for bail and everything else, the lawyers from Jamaica were making the point, a very telling point. So I'm wondering why they're using their contacts in the media to try to break this connection that they may have with the Venezuelan regime. Now, I said I want to talk back about linkages. A couple of days ago, maybe 2 days ago, another OFAC sanctioned Colombian was held at Curupukari. 2 days ago, was held at Curupukari coming into Guyana. And what I say now could have long-term implications for Guyana. And if we're serious, we tackle it now. We have to come down very hard on it. When Pablo Escobar in Colombia, he became a member of parliament too. Pablo Escobar was one of the biggest drug dealers. They compromised the judiciary, pay off people in the judiciary. They paid off the police. They paid people in the army. They paid people in the media. They own sections of the media. And then in the executive too, they're bribing ministers and orders and other people in the other arms of the executive. So they became untouchable. It was heading into a failed society. Look at the consequences for Colombia: kidnappings, bombings, killings, etc. These people, that's the culture there. And we should not, through these linkages, we have to be careful that we don't replicate that culture here. We have to cut it out early, because in that sort of society, it's only violence. You look at the consequences for Colombia for decades upon decades. When individuals who have money, ill-gotten money, believe they can buy out everyone else, including the media, and we've seen it here. We've seen it here. The media, half of the media in Guyana would never ask these people the tough questions.